We're here today. First, thank you for showing up and supporting the members of the Montgomery Police Department in our efforts to combat violent crime in our city. We're here today to talk about a couple of significant drug arrests. And as I've said in the past, there's a direct correlation between narcotics and violent crime in our community, and we will do everything in our power, working with local, state, and federal partners to do what we can to get these narcotics off the street and get those criminals put away. Today we're going to talk about two significant cases. These type of cases that you see before you here today, and some photos that we'll have up on the screen, demonstrates the work by the narcotics unit, the gang unit, and the Special Operations Division as a whole, including our SWAT team. This collaborative effort, along again with our local, state, and federal partners, is how we're going to get a handle on the violent crime in our city. Look, I'm committed, my team is committed, we'll do everything in our power to rid our streets of these narcotics. Look, we're seeing individuals suffering from drug abuse and in crisis across this city. And you know, our officers are out there combating it day in and day out. Our patrol officers are encountering individuals that are strung out on narcotics. And you know, one of the things that happens is when folks are on narcotics and they're dependent on narcotics, they will break into your home, they will rob you, they will steal from you, and you become a victim of circumstance. So we're going to do everything we can, as I said, over and over in our power to combat this and to be aggressive on it. And again, just the past few months, we've been here and we've talked about some of the cases that we've presented before you. And with the support of our district attorney, we're doing very good with prosecuting those cases. And we're not stopping on the level that we are. Many of these cases that we're going to talk about today is just the tip of the iceberg. There's going to be many, many more arrests as a result of these cases. But we do want to bring that to the public's attention and let them know about the good work that we're doing. So I'll introduce Captain Russell. He's a member of our Special Operations Division. His team led this operation, and I want to give them credit, and we'll answer some questions right after. And again, joined with Chief John Hall. He's the commander of this unit, and you've seen him here before, and you'll continue to see these faces up here as we make these cases and impact narcotics and violent crime in our community. So I'll pass it off to Captain Russell, and then we'll answer your questions.
Good afternoon. As the Chief stated, my name is Captain Russell, and I am a member of the Special Operations Division. I would first like to start by thanking Chief Albert for giving me this opportunity to serve in this capacity as the Commander of Special Ops, as it's been where I've spent the majority of my career. With that being said, the Chief did say these are ongoing investigations, so we will not speak directly to the details of the investigations. We'll just give you an overall synopsis of what occurred. What I can say about the seizure you see on the wall, that is 9 pounds of methamphetamine, roughly 4 kilos. What we learned was there was a large shipment of crystal methamphetamine that was ultimately destined to be distributed in the city of Montgomery. My team did a great job identifying a target of the investigation. We were able to identify a location where we believe the target was headed to distribute these narcotics. As a result, it resulted in the arrest of a 44-year-old Hispanic male, Victor Ortiz. He is a resident of Douglas, Georgia, and he was taken into custody without incident. That's really all we can say related to that investigation at this time. Keep going.
Yeah, we'll talk about another case that was made last night, another significant case that was made last night. But as we wrap up this case, it's an ongoing investigation. As we said, it crosses state lines. That's why we have local, state, and federal partners working on it. Although we talk about Douglas, Georgia, of course it was heading here for the city of Montgomery. And the next case is a local case. Captain Russell will fill you in on that. What you see there is about $40,000 in cash, as well as the narcotics in various forms, and we'll talk about that as well.
Yes, sir. As it relates to the evidence you can see on the table and in the picture, members of our gang unit were conducting their day-to-day activities. when they encountered a Montgomery resident, 39-year-old Delvin Powell, during the course of a traffic stop. As a result of the traffic stop, the evidence you see in front of you, as well as that U.S. currency, was seized. Mr. Powell was arrested without incident and placed in the county jail for trafficking in narcotics. What you do see there, I can say, is 238 hydrocodone pills, 207 Percocet pills, 209 oxycodone pills, and 15 Vyvanse pills, all scheduled controlled substances. The currency is going to be $40,540. Correction, I'm sorry, $40,594, which will be seized, or condemnation will be filed as a result of this investigation. Mr. Powell was placed in the Montgomery County Jail and charged, as I stated, with trafficking in illegal drugs.
Again, this is the commitment we have to the community. It's the commitment that we've demonstrated over and over again, that we're going to continue these large-scale investigations as well as street-level narcotics investigations, whatever it takes to rid our streets from these narcotics and these criminals. So this is a great job by the Special Operations Division. As I said, it last two or three months throughout the summer. We were here talking about other great cases this team made. They worked really good together. Kudos to the gang unit, the SWAT team, and the narcotics unit for the work they do day in and day out. So if you have any questions, we're here to answer.
These two cases were how far apart were the arrests made?
They were day apart.
No, sir.
About a day or two? Well, a day or two apart. Yeah, they wasn't back to back, but they're two separate cases, but about 2 days apart. Yeah.
Chief, for clarity, what we're seeing here is a result of the same thing that we're seeing up here, right?
Yes.
Yes. Well, there were what you're seeing there. You are seeing a little more there, but some of the pharmaceutical pills that we did seize were not controlled substances. They were just like Tylenol and amoxicillin and stuff like that.
So often what we see is those non-controlled narcotics, they use them as a precursor to step on and break down to combine with the narcotics. So of course everything is seized until it's identified as, whether it's a scheduled narcotic or not. Yes, sir.
Can you walk me through the stop for Powell? Why was he pulled over? And then were these all in the car that he was in?
As far as the reason for the traffic stop, I'm not going to get into that. Like we said, it's ongoing investigations are being conducted. However, all the evidence was inside the vehicle.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we want to protect the integrity of the investigation because there's more arrests to follow. So we will hold back on some of that information just in terms of letting us run this investigation out to the end.
Just for our records, would y'all mind stating and spelling the first and last names of both of the men who were arrested?
Yes. The first is going to be the Hispanic male with the methamphetamine is going to be Victor, VICTOR Ortiz, ORTIZ. And for the second subject arrested is going to be Delvin, DELVIN, last name Powell, POWELL.
You see there's weapons involved. Of course, we normally see weapons involved with the narcotics trade. It increases the level of danger that our detectives and investigators face day in and day out. That's why training is so important for them. That's why we allow a certain level of training for these individuals to be prepared for anything they may face on the street in dealing with these kind of situations.
Chief, we've
Sir?
had some overdose incidents in the past. Can these substances are they linked to some of those overdose incidents, and are these drugs connected in that investigation?
Well, what we've seen is a large number of individuals' death investigations at a lot of the smaller motels throughout the city. And in some cases, our officers have had to administer Narcan to save the lives of individuals. So we see that as a problem. We're targeting certain locations where these narcotics are prevalent. And you know, we'll continue to do our best on administering Narcan when feasible. But again, the whole public safety team, the fire department who responds as first responders to help out, of course, medical and the hospitals, they're doing their part as well. But no, we're seeing that day in and day out, and it is alarming to us. That, along with the violent crime that's associated with it. So that's a target, it's a focus for us. We talked about it throughout the summer, and this is a result of you know, ongoing investigation, and we'll continue to do this work throughout the city of Montgomery, and wherever it leads.
Chief Albert, you mentioned in one of the cases, I believe the meth case, he's a Georgia resident from Georgia. Is a lot of what y'all see just happening in the city of Montgomery, or is this coming from outer cities and that they're bringing these drugs into Montgomery?
The good thing is the partnerships we have with our local, state, and federal partners, because you know, criminals don't have boundaries. They move around, and we will run that out wherever it leads us to. So we understand that there's some connection to Georgia, but beyond Georgia as well, and we won't talk about that, but we understand it's beyond Georgia as well. So no, when they're coming into the city of Montgomery, or they're doing things in the city of Montgomery going elsewhere, we will communicate that with other law enforcement so that they can be able to address it on their end as well.
Do you have a street value on the methamphetamine bus?
Yes, sir. Wholesale value would be approximately $36,000.
And that's in its crystal form. It appeared it hadn't been stepped on or broken down yet or cut. So of course it can be stretched even farther than that once that happens. Again, I just want to say thank you to the men and women here with the gang unit, narcotics, and special operations as a whole, the SWAT team, for their work. It's been a priority of mine, it's been a priority of Mayor Reed to address these issues in the city, and they're doing a fantastic job, so thank you all very much. We appreciate the work you're doing.